said, hey, this is one of my first, so try to be patient with me because
Right.
I'm just gonna end the live.
You're just getting alive. That's fine. All right, we're back live on all platforms now, guys. So basically, I was just kind of giving an update on Sarah. She's not feeling well. She's not been well. Oh, I love the hat. I love the hat. She's not been well. It's been a rough ride for her. When we went to Chillicothe, it was very rough for her. Um, it's one of the reasons we did decide that we were going to stay a couple days was so that it wasn't so hard on her and me having to do a return trip the next day with both of our health. In addition to the fact that we wanted to tape things and I was hoping to get in to see her parole officer, those were the different things. It was already hard on her. And then when she came home from that, she ended up getting a more severe diagnosis, and she is dealing with that. And like I said, this afternoon, she just texted me that she's in the hospital. So please be praying for her. Um, and I would like to ask all of you to please stop asking her to come up on panels. Okay. It's not nice. What you're doing is not okay. If you want her to come up because you want her to talk about whatever, and you want to be kind and you just want to hear from her, that's fine. She'll do that over here.
And her supporters will do that.
We'll be happy to have her back over here. She's been with us on several other things. So for those of you that are asking about her, well, where is Sarah? I haven't seen Sarah live. No, she has been live. We were just on Rumble and Twitch. We weren't on YouTube or TikTok. So you guys have, you just have to catch us on a lot of different places. But I would like for you to stop asking her to come up and talk about what happened. I'd like you to stop asking for the video. This is actually serious. This is serious. This is a criminal charge that we are facing. Can somebody please take Eric Cat out, please? Thank you. But this is a criminal charge that we're facing, and I don't want her out here saying something that at some point in time could be used against her. Sarah is not as strong in telling you guys that she's not going to answer a question as I am. And I don't want her bullied, and I don't want her to be treated this way. It is not okay. She is not well, healthy wise. Neither am I, but she is in much worse shape than I am. And she needs to take care of herself through this very stressful time while her team rallies around her. So if you would like anybody to come and discuss this, you can ask me for an interview, and I will decide whether or not I feel it is pertinent. Today, I'm going to go through the updates, but after this, no, Celeste, it's okay. I think we've got enough over here, and right now we're not having any guests up in the box. Who is that? Yeah, no, Evie, not right now. So what I'm going to do today, is I'm going to go through where we're at with the criminal charges so far, and then I'm going to address a little bit about the bullshit civil court case. Okay. So thank you guys. Thank you. I will let Sarah know. The team will let Sarah know you guys are praying for her. We very much appreciate that. Hold on. Okay. Alrighty. So that being said, moving on. So I filed in my court case, the criminal charges court case. I asked for a public defender. My request was denied and Sarah's request was approved. And there's a lot going on with that public defender, so I'm not going to talk about that right now. But mine was not approved because my husband makes a good amount of money door dashing. So they were saying that it was, I don't fall within the level for qualifying, but with my household and what we support and everything, I can file an appeal for that, and I will. Right now, though, I'm representing myself pro se. So that's basically me representing myself, and so I am going to be doing that until we can secure legal representation. So everyone, my mods are we're talking about me. today, X. So my mods are going to put together a fund for our legal battle here. And they will be the ones that are in charge of that. It's not going to be into my hands or Sarah's hands. It'll be the girls who run that, and that way they can help us make sure that it just gets to the right things for the right stuff. So they're going to be setting that up. I won't even have anything to do with that. I just got you guys to know about it. But as working as pro se for myself at this time until the hearing on the 17th, which is basically going to be an arraignment. An arraignment, and it's not going to have a whole lot. Basically, the thing is we're going to do is we're going to enter a plea of not guilty, and then we will ask for a continuance. We will ask, for legal counsel to be assigned. And no, I don't have to be there in person this time, Lynn, thank God. We're able to appear over WebEx because both Sarah and I are disabled, and we were able to give the proper 48 hours notice to the court, like we would have been able to do in the first place if we had known about the first court case. So it was because we didn't have 48 hours to notify them to accommodate our disabilities because we weren't notified. Funny how that works. Yeah. So as the pro se for myself, what I did was file a motion to dismiss. Now, I am not by any means a lawyer, but what I did was go based off of, the first one we filed, which I had, a friend of mine help me out with. And we put that one before the court. So I basically began looking up all the statutes as to what a false, report is. What does it fall under? What is the evidence? What all do they need? And I basically just put this together myself. So it is what I wrote. And I submitted this on July 2nd. So I'll just read it off to you guys here. So, to the Honorable Judge Leamer, I am writing to inform the court of several pertinent issues regarding the case filed on June 11th, 2024, in which a hearing is scheduled for 7/17/2024. As of today, I have not been formally served with any documents related to this case. The address on file with the court was inaccurately given by the prosecuting attorney, Adam Warren, based on our previous civil cases address based on the civil case address entered by Mike Stanfield. On the witness statement provided to Officer Reynolds, the correct address was listed, and as I have not resided at the other address for over 4 years. Mr. Stanfield knew my address at the time of filing because he had previously mailed me a cease and desist to the correct address. On June 11th, 2024, I was notified by a third-party internet personality that I was being summoned back to court regarding an incident that occurred before court on the morning of June 5th, 2024. On the morning of June 5th, 2024, I was having breakfast, and the counsel for the opposing party in a civil case appeared with another man in the lobby of the Fairfield Inn. An unidentified male party wearing a bright blue shirt and striped tie yelled out at me from across the dining hall that it was inappropriate for me to hold my phone in my hand and that I needed to put it away. I proceeded to take 3 or 4 pictures from a great distance from this man in case anything happened. Approximately 15 minutes after the 2 men entered the lobby, my reporter, Sarah Anderson, who is employed with our company, the Good Wives Network, came down into the lobby. After a brief conversation with me and another independent podcaster, Sarah walked over to the men, introduced herself as a member of media, and asked Mr. Stanfield if he would care to make a comment on our pending court case. Mr. Stanfield informed Sarah he knew who she was, that she was not a member of the media, and that if she did not walk away, he would call the police. Sarah continued to speak to Mr. Stanfield when she was engaged by the unidentified guy in the bright blue shirt. The man tried to intimidate Sarah by pushing her with his chest and invading her personal space. This was all caught on a 37-second video that was given to the police when the original report was filed. If you review in between seconds 20 and 24, blue shirt guy gets up from the table, approaches Sarah, and stands to the right of her shoulder, almost directly on top of her. He proceeded to tell her she needed to have respect and back away. At that moment, instead of going around her to the right as I appeared he was going to do, he shifts his weight from right foot to the left foot and drags his body across Sarah's chest. He tells her to back away and move and intimidated her into doing so. She stumbles back and then you can see his tie. From my position, it looked like he chest bumped her subtly to move. This was what I stated in my statement. He then exited around her to the left. Regardless of physical content or not, the man is too close to Sarah, and she indicated he moved his chest along hers and pushed her backwards. Mr. Stanfield called the police, and he and his associates came up to the clerk of the court's office. The blue shirt man stood in the doorway the entire time, attempting to intimidate the four of us even more. After our court case was dismissed, we met with Officer Reynolds. Upon viewing the video, speaking with me, Sarah, and two other witnesses, Amber Dietz and Alora Flowers, Officer Reynolds stated we should follow him to the station to file a report. He stated that it was a class 4 assault. The four of us gave the witness statements with what we had perceived to happen in the lobby of the hotel and left the station. We had no idea who the man was. The officer stated he would attempt to catch the man before he left the hotel. We were later informed that the suspect blue shirt man is also the prosecuting attorney on the criminal charges filed, Adam Warren. And I want to stay right here, guys. I was not the one who made that statement first. Veda Jade is who the one was covering our case, is who told me that first. Then I went and looked at his public profile page, and I do believe he is that man. Now, he could totally be a different person, but I believe that to be the guy that I saw. I looked at his face quite a bit, and it made sense. And Veda was like, well, that's what I've heard. And so to me, that's who it is. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong on that. But it doesn't change the fact. First of all, I did not dox a damn person, because that is his public profile page, and he uses his family in his actual like campaigning all the time. So he's a public figure. Exactly. It'd be like if you posted a picture of Craig, to be honest with you. He signed up for this. He's my husband. He knows I'm a public figure. It's why I don't bitch and complain about my mugshots being out there. Do I think it's ridiculous that they've put them out? For sure. I mean, yeah, it's petty and bullshit. But do I bitch about it? No, because it's public record.
Anyone can look it up.
Anybody can look it up. No, I have requested discovery, Lynn, and they will not give it to me. They told Sarah they would not give it to her either, that she can only have her own statement. That's all we're allowed to get. So that is another thing I have to put into when I go to before the court. I will ask him for the discovery. So let me finish on with this. But just anyway, let me clear up with Adam Warren. So if I am wrong in the fact that Adam Warren is not the same man that pushed Sarah, I 100% apologize and take responsibility for that. It does not mean that man acted appropriately at all. He did not. And I believe that the reason that I believe it's him is because, one, he looks like him, and two, this is very suspicious. All of this is very, very, very suspicious, because there's just way too many things that are not quite right. Do you guys know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Okay, so hold on, guys. Hey guys. Anyway, yeah, AVL. Okay, AVL. I did come into that live, and I did tell Sarah that she was not allowed to go up on that panel, and I did tell the rest of my team they were not allowed to go up on that panel. Do you know why? Because I run the company that they work for, and the criminal charges that Sarah is facing involve me. And so I have the right to tell her that I do not want her out here talking about it, because right now, up until the point where she just got a public defender, I was representing us both. I have every right to tell her where she can and cannot go. And all I said to her that night was that no member of my panel was coming up on Sir Morbid's live. I was not rude. I was not hateful. And my entire team was in there. And that is how I know that she was in there, was because my team alerted me, because they were concerned. Because what was going to happen is exactly what I said earlier. There were people in the chat that were like, I have lots of questions for you, Sarah. I want to know this. I want to know that. And they had blocked most of my mods, so the mods couldn't even see their questions.
Right.
And then they were trying to get her up on panel, and all she wanted to do was talk about prison confessions, because we found that second season and we don't think anybody really knows about it. But what you were trying to do was bait her into saying things and bully her into it without me being there, so that you guys could try and get her to say stuff she shouldn't say. Regardless of, you can twist her words. Anything she says, you can twist. And I am not that easily swayed. So at this point, I'm the only one talking about this. That's it. And if her attorney is smart, he's going to tell her not to talk. I am not being rude to her. I did not tell her not to be here. And this is my chat. Exactly. Thank you. And it's not a controlled chat either. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have her go up on a panel where there are mods that are already not friendly with an audience that's not friendly because she shouldn't be talking.
Right.
Because I'm not like her. I am not the one that gets angry or flustered like that. I guess I understand I can, when I'm handling a business that transaction, it's much different than me being angry here. Okay. And I can tell somebody no comment, but Sarah is not like that. Danielle, you're done. You're muted from the rest of the live.
What you're talking right now. Like, really?
Yeah. Like, no, seriously. Mute entire live. Maybe you can come back next time and act appropriately. Okay.
Yes, we're talking right now because why? Because it's your company. What don't people get about that?
Oh, okay. AVL. Okay. I hear what you're saying. So you were saying that people were being nasty to her and you didn't even know I was there. Okay. Exactly. That's exactly it. Yes. Okay. Thank you. And that's why. See, she said it wasn't Fancy that was being nasty. It was a panel member. I didn't know Fancy was there. I came on and the panel member was being nasty to Sarah. And yes, they were goading her into coming up there. Yes, it was rebrand. And they were goading her into trying to come up there because they knew that I was off for the night because I had said I was going off for the night. And my mods had already told them, no, Fancy's spending the night with her husband. She's not going to be in here. This is what happened. And so then they tried to, on Sir Morbid's live, to get her to come up there to try and get her to say things. Lynn, I'm not sure what we're going to do with that. She has a public defender assigned to her. I didn't qualify because of my income, but I should be able to appeal it because of what it was. Okay. So yeah, exactly, Misty. That woman is the rebrand is rude and nuts. Exactly. And that's why my team came to me and asked me to step in. So I did because it's my job. And I am protectful of my people. So, all right. Back to what I was filing. Again. Okay, again. So, if Adam Warren is not the man who assaulted her, I'm very sorry for saying so, and I will make a public retraction once I find out of that for sure. As far as I know, Veda Jade did her homework, I did my homework, and that is the man I believe it to be. I did not dox the man nor his family. I did not dox the judge. I said the judge's name and I said that they were friends, and this is all very suspicious. And it is all very suspicious because none of this should be happening because Sarah was assaulted. And I don't understand. We have missing freaking witness statements. We've got witnesses changing their story because the Blanchard family has now talked to them. This is ridiculous. So let me go on with this, though. Here is what I've got up here. So hold on. All right. So the last sentence was, we were later informed that the suspected blue shirt man is also the prosecuting attorney on the criminal charges filed Adam Warren. On June 11, 2024, without ever being questioned or contacted, we were charged with filing a false police statement. Neither witnesses nor I were spoken to by Officer Reynolds after the event. We reached out several times and he never returned our calls. That's exactly it too, Heather. I agree. So I plan to ask the court for a dismissal with prejudice, which if you understand what a dismissal with prejudice is if it's dismissed, then it cannot be brought back on different charges or brought back again. It means that it's dismissed and it should never have happened. And so it is, it's dismissed with prejudice, so it can never be brought back into another court of law. Okay. That's what dismissed with prejudice is. Will I get that? I don't know. Will I get the dismissal? I don't know. I'm hoping that I can, but it's the first step in all of this. So, okay. So the next thing I wrote, is number 1 is insufficient evidence. Number 2, the deletion of witnesses and their statements from Officer Reynolds, retaliation from a member of the court, and number 4, no false police report was filed by myself. Given the circumstance, I respectfully request the following: a full dismissal of all charges with prejudice. All court costs and attorney fees will be reimbursed by the plaintiff. A full investigation into the misappropriate use of power of an official of the court. If I am denied this dismissal, I ask the court to assign a special prosecutor to my case, as it is a direct conflict of interest for Mr. Warren to be both the prosecutor and the victim. I ask the court for a change of venue to a court that would give me a better chance at a fair and unprejudiced trial. I appreciate your attention to these matters and look forward to your guidance on how to proceed. Sincerely, April Johns, aka Francesca Fancy Maselli. So that was my filing of an order to dismiss. Right now, Emma, I don't have to go appear in court for this one since it is just the preliminary hearing. So I get to appear by WebEx this time. We have gotten the confirmation from the court that we get to do that. And I have also, because at this time I'm not represented by an attorney, I have made a request to the court to allow me to be able to submit my filings electronically, because that's how they're allowed to do it. So I have to get a special pass, but I don't think that there's any reason I wouldn't be granted that. So no, it's absolutely right, Susie. They don't have the right to do any of this, but that's what they think it is to do. So this time I decided I would tell it first, so screw it. You're not going to report on my story before I report on my story. Thank you. So that was the first thing there for me to talk about. Amy, did you want to talk about that? Did you guys have questions about my order to dismiss or my motion to dismiss?
Only that I hope it goes through.
Yeah. What did you think of what I wrote there? Did you I didn't know how detailed I could or couldn't get, so I just figured I'd try to cover a medium amount. Like, this is why I believe it should be dismissed. I mean, I have seen at the time I hadn't even seen the video, exactly, Heather, it is a violation of our defense to deny discovery, and I am going to bring that up in court as well. So
Good point, Heather.
Yeah. Okay. So basically with this court case, guys, I'm hoping best case scenario, we get it dismissed with prejudice. Worst case scenario, if for some reason, let's just say the corrupt justice works here and I get a sentence, I'm really hoping I can negotiate just that fine, like, I think that this is ridiculous, but I will be appealing like fucking crazy. I'm not going down with this. This is the most ridiculous bullshit ever. I sit and I think about playing this damn video for you guys, but I just feel like I should keep that to us, but I've seen the video. Amy, you've seen the video. Can you tell them what you see in the video?
She's away from him. He stands up. He comes over to her. He didn't stand up into her like you had thought.
Right.
He stands up and he walks over to her,
mm-hmm.
and tells her she needs to back
and
up.
He's standing right here.
Move.
Yeah, he's standing right here.
He could have walked around her, but then
right.
You see him go right in front of her,
mm-hmm.
and he is up on her. Like, you can see the pattern on his tie.
Yes.
He's close. He is boom. Right
and
there.
At the beginning, it's just the blue. All you can see is his blue. Like, there's no tie. You can't. It's just blue. Blue. That's all you see is blue. And she was holding her phone right here, like this, under her boobs. Do you believe the story? He has security for the lawyer. I do not. In fact, oh, that email, that anonymous email.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about that for a minute. Shall we spill the tea? Like, look, first of all, it went to Nina. That's suspicious as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, it's a fucking anonymous email. That's suspicious as fuck. And it starts off much like some of the other ones that I've received from a certain person who is, you know, alive or not alive, or maybe alive, maybe not alive. That person, yeah, we all know that person, right? She sent the same type of email to Natasha Cooper when she was pulling her little unaliving of self bullshit. Exact same words. If I'm going to give you the exclusive on this, do we all believe his name is Todd from some security? Do you think that Mike Stanfield needed to hire a fucking private security officer for little old me? Like, if he did, what a weak ass piece of shit. Can we all agree on that? Amy, are you there still, baby? Amy, where'd you go? Oh, she's over in the other chat, so probably that's where she is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Oh, okay. I don't know what happened.
I mean, can we all call bullshit on that? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I do not. This thing, it is not real. But what had happened?
Ones that like keep coming in and trying to screw with you are
Yeah.
gonna find every angle that they can.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
I think that's true. Blah 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 blah. It's like you just have to pay attention and use common sense with a lot of this stuff.
So yeah, Celeste, there is an update on our friend Sarah Jane Anderson. So the last time that we heard from her, and like I said, I believe that this email is connected in some way to that person. The verbiage is just way too similar to many times and how they have talked to us. And you know, that's the thing with Nina. That's my problem with Nina. Nina doesn't fact check shit. She just runs to be the first one to have the tea. And then she doesn't, and she never issues an apology or a retraction if she gets it wrong. It's fuck you, I said what I said. And you know, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. No, I do not believe he works for some security company.
Right.
No. And if he did, it's irrelevant to the story, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's irrelevant to the story. It's 100% irrelevant to the story, because whoever he was, DA, private security, another attorney, I don't fucking know. Okay? But whatever the situation, he was way too close and he was attempting to intimidate her. And then he continued to attempt intimidate the four of us by standing there in the doorway of the Kirk of the Court and staring at us the entire time. The end, period. The end. That's it. That's it. There's no discovery yet, Christine, because they haven't entered their discovery. Because there are no exhibits attached to this. And as soon as I entered my motion showed up here. So they have not even put in their discovery to the freaking court yet at all. Well, I don't care that you like Nina. Nina's a shithead that steals people's content and doesn't fact check anything.
I mean, we're not telling anybody not to like her. It's just,
I don't give a shit. You can like Nina.
This is what it is. This is what it is.
You can like Nina. You can watch me. You can watch anyone else and like them. I don't care. However, what I do ask is, if you are a follower of our content and their content, please just don't run around causing bullshit. That's all.
Right.
If you don't run over to her and be like, "Did you hear what Fancy said? Well, did you hear what Nina said?" No, leave us alone. Let us have our own audiences and talk about what we're talking about. That's all. Anyway, I don't believe he was security for Mike. No, like I said, if Mike needed security from me, Mike's a pussy.
I mean,
allegedly, in my opinion, for entertainment and educational purposes only. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't believe that. That's just something to make it look like you're really like.
That's fine. No problem, Carol Ann. No problem. Yeah.
Chinese stars flying out everywhere.
Okay. So that being said, that was my motion to dismiss. We'll see what the court does with it. I don't think they'll dismiss prior to the hearing. If they do dismiss at the hearing, I would really be surprised, to be honest with you. It's the 17th. We will be pairing by WebEx. So I do not have the copy of the discovery yet. I'm going to have to ask for it through the courts because they will not give it to me. I'm going to also send a letter to the DA's office requesting it because that's what the clerk of the court told me to go ahead and do. Oh, that's fine, Celeste, no problem. Yeah, I don't mind at all. It's fine. Just take everything she says about me with a grain of salt. Take everything she says about everything with a grain. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. Do your fucking homework. You can decide what person is telling the truth or what you think is appropriate, and we can both have it truthful at the same time. So, seriously, I don't care. As long as no fuckery is going on, I don't give a flying fadoodle. All right, so now we're going to go on to moving away from the criminal charges. I will, be updating you guys if anything else gets filed. Please do that. We will be doing that. But hold on, I'll be updating you is what I meant is. Sorry, I'm trying to do two different things at one time. So now I'm going back to the civil court case, because this is super odd, guys. But guess what is in the Missouri court case again? Oh, the Blanchards are back at it again in Livingston County.
Of course they are.
Of course they are. So let me get into that real quick. I got to pull it back up again. I had to refresh. I didn't have it open. Da, 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 da. So they are asking for a reconsideration. Now, I believe that Judge Horstman made it very, very clear that this was not his problem for a number of reasons. But they've tried to make it his problem again. So here's where we're at. Hold on. So let me open that, and then open that. Okay, so here we go. So first thing that happened was they filed an entry of appearance. Amy, don't you think that's odd in a case that's already dismissed?
Uh-huh.
I thought it odd too.
Extremely odd.
Yeah, they filed this. Let's see here. They filed it on June 28th. Our hearing was on June 5th, and it was dismissed. And then on June 11th, they filed a court case against us. And then on June 28th, here come the Blanchard family. And meanwhile, remember, if you guys don't remember that the witnesses in the criminal case, they changed their minds after they spoke with Bree. And the Blanchard family, through Ryan, and I have called a truce with Ryan, so please, if you are a supporter of Ryan or you're a supporter of me, please, right? Please, we're both asking you, no more. We have called a truce. We are fine with each other. It's enough. We are done. I don't want to talk about that anymore. But Ryan, yes, they spoke to Bree, Emma. Ryan came out and said that the Blanchard family had seen the video, which I would like to know how, because Mike Stanfield should not have seen the video. He's not listed in this. He's not charged in this. He's a witness. He shouldn't be seeing the evidence beforehand. That's inappropriate. And that Blanchard family said it happened exactly like the officer said. Well, what does the Blanchard family have to do with any of that? Right. That is jack all to do with them. But on the 28th, they go and they have filed now an entry of appearance. So basically, this is it's Benjamin Stringer, and he's authorized to practice law before this case, before this court. Hereth makes his entry of appearance for all above named plaintiffs. So basically, he is really interesting here, guys. Really interesting. Mr. Stringer doesn't work for Stanfield Law. No, he doesn't. But he does work at the office of Stanfield Law at 1720 North Robertson Avenue. And when Mike went public about the fact that he had a brand new private practice, he was like, we did this together, and Ben and I have our private practices and they're together. So he's in the same office, and now he's taking over this case, and they're best buddies who opened their practice together privately.
Nothing shady gonna happen there.
No, he's just another attorney. You know, they're not trying to pass it off to. That's not happening. No. Okay, so first the order of appearance came through, and I was like, what in the hell? And I'm sorry, there's family bullshit going on, so I'm a little distracted, guys.
It's okay.
But
It's
so first this order of appearance comes through, and I'm like, what in the ever loving hell is this? You know, and I was like, I don't even understand. This is a closed case. What the hell is going on here? I mean, the judge was very clear. Okay. I want to be very clear with you. I'm going to tell you again, and I have witnesses, even though they're shitty witnesses at this point, but they did see what happened inside the court, and they have backed me up on my story about what he said to Mr. Stanfield. Judge Horstman told Mr. Stanfield, first of all, this is not my problem, because it is not where this originated from. And Ms. Blanchard was never a resident of Chillicothe, the city. She was only a resident of Chillicothe, the prison. And she was not of here of her own volition. So no, sir, it does not belong here. First of all, the contract was first signed by, and the contract was first signed by Christy and Rod 3 months before Gypsy ever signed hers. And he saw that too. He said, I've looked at all the evidence here, and I just don't see that there's any reason why we would move forward with this. First of all, it's not our venue. Second of all, I don't see cause for it. And third, sir, is it or is it not that this contract that the Blanchards are bringing forward here, that they said, is that this is governed out of the state of California? And Mike tried to retort back, and he was like, right. And he's like, okay, but that doesn't matter. He goes, it does matter. It's governed out of the state of California. It says right here, sir. It says right here. And then he said, and besides that, Mr. Stanfield, do you not understand that that there is an arbitration clause? Did you attempt arbitration with Miss Johns, Miss Maselli over here? Did you? No, sir. Well, then it's not the court's problem at all, sir. And then he said, well, would you tell me where a better venue would be? And this is very important, because this is what he asked him. He asked the judge in open court, would you tell me a better place for the venue to be? And the judge answered, I'm not going to do your job for you, Mr. Stanfield. I have no idea where I would suggest. I've given you a couple of suggestions already. Have a good day. Have a safe trip home, Ms. Johns. We're done. And he walked out, and smiled at me as he did. So that's very important, because he's already asked the judge once to tell him his job. But I've got screenshots again. All right. So now they filed a motion to reconsider. So let me put this up on the screen over here. If you guys want to see this will be up on Rumble, Twitch, and YouTube afterwards, so you can see them. They're also public documents that you can see. So that's why I'm just going to read them first. But anyway, okay. So it is a motion for reconsideration of dismissal and suggestions in support thereof. All righty. Buckle up. Comes now plaintiff Gypsy Anderson, Christy Blanchard, Rod Blanchard Jr., and Mia Blanchard by and through underside counsel, and respectfully submits this motion before the court. Plaintiff seeks relief on the grounds set forth herein, and pray for such relief as this court deems just and proper. They do a lot of praying. I'm saying, just saying. They do a lot of praying. So the plaintiffs filed the instant case on or about May 23rd, 2024, As part of the original petition, plaintiffs seek equitable relief in the form of a temporary restraining order, preliminary injunction, and permanent injunction against the named defendant. Plaintiffs request this court enter an order preventing the defendants from continuing to make false representations about the plaintiffs and publishing private health care records information of Gypsy Anderson. Plaintiff's petition state that Gypsy Anderson, while an inmate in Livingston County, was contacted by defendant April Johns, and that said defendant held herself out to Gypsy as someone with the skills and experience to help her navigate the increasing public interest about her history. Representing herself as an expert in media and public relations, defendant presented a contract to plaintiffs by which she attempted to appropriate the exclusive rights to Gypsy's life story in all forms of media. Remember, it does say in all forms of media, doesn't it, Amy? It says in all forms of media. It does. It does. Remember that. Persuaded by the promise defendant would help her navigate potential media and public relation challenge, Gypsy signed a contract with defendant while a resident in the correctional facility located in Livingston County, Missouri. According to the petition, plaintiffs provided defendant with personal and private information, including but not limited to Gypsy's medical records. Said petition states defendant failed to produce anything of value to the plaintiffs during the term of the contract, and that after said contract expired and while plaintiff was still an inmate in Livingston County, defendant began a campaign of defamation against plaintiffs, which involved publication of Gypsy's private medical records in the attempt to unjustly enrich herself. You know what's really funny about that, Amy? Do you know what's really funny about that?
I'm curious.
I didn't put them into Patreon until after she was released.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying it happened while she was in Livingston County inside of the jail or inside of the Chillicothe there. And I only put out the ones that were I needed to prove the chromosome disorder and the fact that this was not medical child abuse. It was the doctors looking for the diagnosis that they ultimately found in 2011, and the research that my team and I did to discover this and to determine how we were able to connect it to all of her medical conditions. I didn't put all of her medical records out there, and I never have any intention of doing so. However, if she continues on with this court case, they're going to become public records. So I don't understand their strategy here. I really don't, because the burden of proof is going to be on them. The burden of proof is not going to be on me in either of these cases. No. And I just think that it's hilarious that they are reaching so hard. And now they've kind of moved away from what I'm seeing of anything other than the fact that I have the medical records. Now they're not claiming that I have the crime scene photos and all of that because, you know, they understand, oh, by the way, those are public record, dumb fucks.
Yeah.
They're public record, you idiots, you know. Uh-huh. So, right. Why is Mia even on there? Exactly. Because I said that she should be concerned because she's in danger. She is. I mean, I talked about this last night.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
You know?
I mean, I don't know.
Somebody says their intelligence is dizzying.
So.
Their intelligence is dizzying. Okay. So, no, I agree. Yep. I agree. Okay. So keep going here. Okay. In addition to the request for protection by the court, plaintiff has clearly stated claims for breach of contract, as well as various tort claims that include fraud, defamation, false light, and unjust enrichment. How is Mia in danger? Did you miss the fact that her sister is a schmurderer and is very, very jealous of her? Did you miss that? Because that's how I think she's in danger. Amy, you want to tell them how you think she's in danger? I mean, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I think Mia's everything that, you know, Gypsy could never be.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Full stop. Full stop. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so going on, number 7, plaintiffs filed their cause of action in Livingston County as the statute establishing venue in torts states. Notwithstanding any other provision of law in all actions in which there is any court alleging a tort and in which the plaintiff was first injured in the state of Missouri, venue shall be in the county where the plaintiff was first injured by the acts and conduct alleged in the action. So they're basically saying because she still lived in Chillicothe, she still lived in Missouri. So hold on, just
Mm-hmm.
hold on.
No worries.
Is it 4:30? Okay. All right. Let me keep going here. All right. So, number 8. The plaintiff in this matter has alleged tort claims against defendants and have further alleged injuries from the same were first caused to Gypsy Anderson while she was incarcerated in Livingston County, Missouri. As such, venue for plaintiff's petition is determined by blah, 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 Missouri. As the location where Aunt Gypsy Anderson was first injured by a tort committed by defendants, Livingston County is the proper venue for plaintiff's petition pursuant to whatever. Venue assumes jurisdiction and only relates to the locale where the trial is to be held, and then they give some statutes here. Unlike jurisdiction, the venue for a case is determined by an applicable rule or statute that determines which court is the appropriate forum for that case. If a circuit court, here's where I told you, remember that Mike had already asked him where should I take this, right? I told you guys that. Here we are. This is basically what they're trying to force the judge to do. So basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to say, okay, well, she still was here. She was in Missouri. It still should be Missouri court. But if you still feel like you told me in court you felt, then here's what I'm asking you to do, Judge Horstman. Keep listening. If a court determines that the venue is improper, it has the ministerial duty to transfer the case to the county where the venue is proper. There's a case study there. Plaintiffs respectfully request this court reconsider its prior ruling dismissing the case for lack of venue. Plaintiffs request that court maintain venue of the petition consistent with that statute. In the event this court finds the venue of plaintiff's claims case is lacking in Livingston County, plaintiffs request the court transfer the case to the county where it finds venue is proper. Wherefore, plaintiff respectfully requests the court grant their motions to reconsider dismissal of the case, to reinstate the case for further proceedings in the Circuit Court of Livingston County, Missouri, and for such other and further relief as the court deems just and proper. Signed, Benjamin A. Stringer, Stringer Law LLC at 1720 North Robertson, Springfield, Missouri. And no, it's not doxing him. It's his fucking business address.
Right.
On a public document.
Right.
So there you have it, friends. So basically, I mean, it reminded me, Amy, I was watching A Few Good Men the other night. And it reminded me of the scene, and I can't remember exactly how it goes, but it's where where Joe stands up and she says, "I object." And the judge says, "Objection overruled." And then she decides to say, no, I strenuously object. Is that how this goes? I object. No, I strenuously object. Is that how this goes? That's what I feel like we're looking at right here.
Right.
The judge was already annoyed that you brought this into his courtroom in the first place.
Yeah, you can tell he was so annoyed.
Yes. Gypsy is suing me. Yes. Not new news there. Yep. Yeah. So, okay. So it's like now it's like, all right, so we don't know what we're doing. You told us we don't know what we're doing. And so we don't know what we're doing. So could you pretty please, with a cherry on top, tell us what to do?
They don't even know what venue to file it in. Are you kidding me? You can't make this shit up.
No, you can't. Like it's so I want to go back to I want to go back to the exhibits filed in the original court case. And we're going to go back to the one that is my contract, which is exhibit B. So I'm going to open exhibit B here because I think that's the one with Christy and Gypsy, or Christy and Rod. Let me see, because that's the one. It's the original contract we had. Get down here. Yeah, this is Christy and Rod. Okay. So a lot of this, again, I want to go through centers around this contract. Now, this is why some of you believe that this is not a First Amendment right thing. It is a First Amendment right thing. Okay. They're hiding behind this contract as a way to silence my First Amendment rights.
Absolutely.
That is what they're doing. Okay.
100%.
And I'm going to go through again one more time. I'm not going through all the defamation shit and bullshit. I'm not going to do that. We're going to walk you through this contract one more time. And I'm going to tell you exactly what the contract means for me and for them, and what exactly should be the outcome of this contract, and where it's going to tell you exactly where the venue should be. It's going to tell you exactly what the terms were, and it's going to, oh my God, did you just sub? Maybe that got me to 10,000. Hold on. Did we just hit 10,000? I got to look at our studio, guys. Give me 1 second. We were 2 subs away on our thing today, on our YouTube today, from having 10,000. Let's see if we're there yet. Let's see. Nope. Okay. It still says 9,998. We need 2 more subs. And if we hit 2 more subs in this hour while we're talking, I promise you I'll do something really cool. Okay. Who's in the box? Who's asking for the box? No, I'm sorry. Yasan, we're not doing that right now. All right. So going back. All right. Okay, guys. So basically back to the contract. All right. So this whole thing is really, their whole case is based on 2 things. The first thing is the medical records and everything else that they say that they gave me. Okay. And it's very interesting to me in the refiling that they didn't mention the public records, because they now know, oh shit, yeah, you're right, those are public records. There's nothing we can do about that. Okay. They're still asking for a restraining order. They're still at, they didn't mention the legal, the leading expert in this one, but that could come later, because this is just a basic, like, reopen the case, please. And then basically everything they filed before that will already be in there. And then whatever they file now will be in there. Right. Okay. And so they're going to do that. They'll probably enter in the stuff, that has been out there since this court case. And I don't really care. So, but their whole thing centers around medical records, which makes no sense to me, any which way you shake it. Because if I'm not telling the truth and we put the medical records out, wouldn't it prove that I'm not telling the truth? And wouldn't she want those out to prove that the doctors were doing this to her and that her mother was committing this? I mean, I would just think it would. You would think she would want them out there. Like Kate Marie is sharing all of hers.
Right.
You would think.
Like, what is she trying to hide?
Right. And, she was originally going to sue Natasha Cooper too, who was also given the medical records by Christy. But see, they didn't have a contract. So she's not bound by anything. I'm not a medical professional, Stephanie, but I work with medical professionals, and they are the ones who evaluated the medical records and informed me enough so I can sit here and talk to you about it, because I am the leading expert on the case. I'm sorry. We decided on illustrious maestro. So yes, the illustrious maestro on the case. This is so stupid. Okay, so we're at 10,000. Are we? Hold on. Let me refresh. Yes. All right. I'm gonna give away a shirt. So. We'll do a contest. I just need to pick a subscriber randomly. So, if you want to be entered in the contest, we are starting something really cool. I'm going to kind of incorporate 2 things real quick. Okay. Yeah, Sarah's just sick. She's in the hospital, but she's okay. Just please pray for her. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so here we go. we are going to just we think this is an interesting way to do this. We're not really we don't want to participate in everybody's drama and everything, but come on, we gotta admit it's freaking hilarious, right? I mean, a lot of the things that the content creators are doing, that Gypsy's doing, it's good for a laugh. And
Yeah,
you
because
know, it's so absurd. So what we're going to ask you guys to do is send in your own memes, because we see them everywhere. They're all over the Facebook groups, they're all over, TikTok, they're everywhere. So send in your memes, and we are going to start a meme of the day, and at the end of each week we will draw a winner for a various item from our store. It'll probably be just a small trinket, maybe a sticker or a button or something, but because we did this hit 10,000, if you are a subscribed member to us over here on YouTube, and I want you to take a picture and show me that you're subscribed. Okay, so you got to show me, because you can take a picture of the channels you're subscribed to. Show me that. Take that picture and send it in with your meme. Just something funny, even if it's not yours, you can send it in. We're not going to, we'll just anonymously put it up there for y'all. But just send me that, and we will get in contact with you to send you a shirt, one of our brand new shirts that nobody's seen yet. It's gonna say it's a fancy fan.
Oh, got to see that one.
It's the fancy fan. You want to see it real quick?
Yes, I do.
All right, hold on. Let me get it up. I got it up on the website last night. It's super funny because everybody was asking for one. They're like, "Can we get a fancy fan?" A fancy fan. And I was like, yes. So hold on, let me get this up so you guys can see it, because I'm pretty proud of it. I think it's super cute. Let me show you guys. Let me show you. Fancy's #1 fan. So let me turn this so you guys can see it.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah, isn't it cute?
It is for summer too. That's cute.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was like a cute little summer. Everybody's like, we need a fancy fan. And I was like, oh, and somebody said, not an oscillating one. And I was like, oh my God, just an oscillating fancy fan for you guys. So that's hilarious. I'm going to make some stickers of it too and everything. It's up on the website. It's available for order already. Okay. But, I've never wanted to do the like team fancy thing. Like I've just never liked that. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous to have teams against other creators. We should all just be out here doing our own content and lifting each other up. I'm sorry. And for those of us that are on the team, and those of us that are on the side of Gypsy Rose Blanchard is the most diabolical, crazy person out there, in our opinions, allegedly for entertainment and educational purposes only. We should all be fighting on the same side of justice. Fortunately, we're not.
100%.
Oh, wow. Nina is live right now, and she said she hopes the charges don't get dropped because you need taught a lesson. Wow. Well, thanks, Nina, for your bullshit input. Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah, so be it.
Mwah. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. My foot is itching. I hate when it itches on the bottom because it just won't go away. Okay, so the first thing, like I said, it revolves around medical records. Okay, and then the second one is the contract. That's the second part of this, the contract. And basically, they're alleging that I promised a whole bunch of things and I wrote a bunch of checks my ass can't cash. In a nutshell, okay. That's basically what it is, Sarah has not told me off. Hey guys.
Told you to F off.
Oh, well, no, she has not. And you know what? I don't really care even if she did. I saw what I saw. I protected my friend. And if that has happened, so be it.
Right.
So be it.
Yeah.
But as far as we know, she's in the hospital and she does not feel good. So yeah, we've been communicating with her. So Nina can go fuck herself. Can we just not mention her right now in the chat, guys, please? If you guys are, let's just not. Okay?
Yeah, it's not worth addressing.
It's just not worth addressing. Okay, so the contract is basically, they said that in a nutshell. I promised a bunch of things and I didn't hold up my end of the bargain. I'm saying that I did promise a bunch of things, but you promised a bunch of things, and then I told you if you didn't promise, if you didn't do what you were doing, I was under no obligation to do what I was doing. In fact, I was under no obligation to make anything. And we're going to go ahead and the contract. What are they saying about the contract was not legal? What are they saying on the contract's not legal? It's a signed document. It's a legal document. I don't know what they think. I really just, I don't know what they think. I don't give a shit what they say. So it doesn't matter. We've already been through the forged document bullshit. We've been through all of that. So the contract is the other part of this. And what the contract is their way of hiding behind this contract and saying that since I did not fulfill my side of the contract, I have no right to use any of the materials that I gained. I'm not allowed to talk about this case because I'm just lying and all of that. That's what they're saying, that they're hiding behind the contract. We're going to go through the contract again in a minute here. And then the third part of this basically revolves around the fact that they want all of my content, anything I've ever been in talking about this case, taken down, which would, I guess, include my Reels channel and my A&E special. And what does In Touch have to take down every article that ever mentioned my name? I mean, I'm really trying to understand here.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. I'm going to show you the contract. It is Exhibit B in. I'll be reading it for you guys. And again, if you guys are over on TikTok and you want to see the exhibits, I will have them up here. This is going to be, it's recorded and on all of our other platforms. So it's on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. And I might even upload it to Facebook because I want you guys all to be able to pull from this and explain this court case the proper way. Because again, I'm all about truth. All right. So this is the life rights document that they signed with me and my company, Mad Ginger Entertainment. And it was signed originally in September by Christy and Rod Blanchard electronically. My lips are all dry today. And so they're the first ones who signed it. Then Christy, I believe, I have to ask Sarah. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but I have to ask my daughter, Sarah, because she was the one around at that time. I have to ask her about it, but whatever way it happened, Gypsy ended up signing hers in December. So 3 months later. So originally this all started with Christy and Rod, which is why I'm reading theirs first, because it's the one it started with and how we started off with this. In 2019, when we were 100% done with the Blanchards and had finished our podcast, this is very important information as well. I asked Christy to sign another agreement. And that was basically so that she would get paid for all the work she had done. Hey, Trish, I see you. Or Tiff, I see you. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. So I had asked her to do that because Gypsy didn't want to work on anything else. And that was fine with me. I didn't care because I knew that I didn't need Gypsy because she's going to just lie. I had enough from that. I needed facts and evidence. I wasn't getting it from her. But I felt at that time, I didn't know that Christy was the person behind all the bullshit with Natasha. And, I thought she was still a victim of all that and everything. And she had offered to get it all squashed for me. And I was like, okay, fine. So we withdrew the FBI case and all that. And I was still offering to pay Christy if we made money from the podcast. She would not sign that document. And she talked about it the other night on Breeze Live. She talked about it. She's like, yeah, she tried to get me to sign this. Like, after what you just pulled. Well, that was the night. The reason that they were mad at me was because I had just released the interrogation video.
Right.
That's what it was. And my daughter was in the hospital and I underage having a spinal tap done that went wrong. And Christy's messaging my kid while pulling all this shit. And I was still trying to pay her.
Wow.
So let's read this life rights contract.
Yes.
All right. So checking over here. All righty. So I want you to remember, I'm not a lawyer, but I did go to a legal, like Zoom type of thing to get this thing drafted for me because I did not know what I was doing. I was very 100% clear about the fact that this is something I had never done before. I did have limited amounts of contacts in Hollywood, and I might be able to get something done. Especially because I thought that the story itself would be big enough to do so. You know, I didn't know that the act was even in talks, or I would have had a very frankly different conversation because originally what I wanted to write was a scripted series because I had seen the documentaries at this point, and I said, you know, lots of people don't watch documentaries. Um lots of people watch scripted series. What if we did like a very, very truthful scripted series? I wanted it always to be truthful because I feel like based on a true story should really mean it's the true story. Because people don't understand what based on. There's two different terms there too. There's based on a true story and inspired by a true story. And people don't know what the difference between those two are. They're vastly different. Based on a true story means that it's supposed to be mostly true. You know, they may have changed some names or whatever, but what they're representing, is the truthful story of what happened. Inspired by a true story is wildly different than that. That is, well, we saw this thing and we really kind of liked it. And so we decided to write a story about it, but it's not really that story at all. But people don't know that because all they see is true story and think, oh, it's the truth. And I had been watching so many of those that were things that I knew about cases that I had seen because I was like, I know these aren't truthful because some of them were like shows that are cases from like the 80s and 90s. And I kept seeing these things happen. And I was like, that's not the story. That's not, I hate when this happens. And I go, yeah, a book is a book and they change it for the movie to fit. But this is different. When you're talking about people's lives, I feel like they need to be much more accurate. And that's why I went to Christy with that. I didn't know the act was in the process until I found out while I was working with Christy, and I had to help her write the letter to Michelle Dean, which I put out in our Patreon earlier this month. So okay, so this right here, the life rate starts off with this. So this will confirm the following agreement between Francesca Maselli of Mad Ginger Entertainment, producer. And yes, I am able to use my name Francesca Maselli or Fancy Maselli because they are my official business names for the industry. I can sign it with a dot if I want to. It still holds up in court because I don't know if you know this or not, but even legal agreements stand up in court. So me signing this as Fancy or Francesca or April or Microphone doesn't matter. It was still said that they're making this between me and Mad Ginger and them. And so the court would uphold it 100% regardless. I cannot go and say, well, that's not really my signature, judge, so this isn't mine. No, because I present myself as Fancy Maselli, Francesca Maselli.
Right.
And so they would not, then they would be like, no, I'm sorry, ma'am, you signed this regardless of what name you put here. That wouldn't even hold water. Absolutely would not. So that Tori, that little argument that you said that I said that to you and that's how I thought I would get out of things. Know that's bullshit. I didn't say that to you. I said the exact opposite to you. Come on, I ain't stupid. All right, so this will confirm the following agreement between Francesca Maselli of Mad Ginger Entertainment, quote unquote producer, and Rod and Christy Blanchard, quote unquote author, for an option to acquire all media rights for any scripted series, motion picture, television, digital, multimedia, etc., to your and Gypsy Rose Blanchard's life story. Hold on, I'm going to pull this over here like this. Go over here so I can see StreamYard real quick. Hold on. There we go. Okay, now I can see the questions over here while we're reading. Okay. All right, so option in consideration of my payment to you, the sum of $10, and my offer. Hold on. In my efforts to write a television series based on your life, you grant me the exclusive, irrevocable option to purchase your rights to your life story. The term of the options. The initial term of the option should be for a period commending on the date hereof and continuing for 1 year. B, I may extend the initial term for an additional period of 1 year if producer has made viable progress with the project and needs the extra time to finalize a deal. Commencing upon the expiration of the initial term by giving you written notice and paying you $100 for the second year term. Okay. So basically, that's just me saying, hey, I'm going to give you a couple bucks so that I can do this. And I told him straight up, I don't have money. I am not the producer that's going to come in here and offer you thousands of dollars. I don't have that. I don't. I have limited funds, but what I can do is I can give you an opportunity to tell the truth in a way that I believe that people will understand you, you know, and I believe that with this story, I believe we can get this done with your cooperation. And all I want to do is do a truthful story here. And that was what we agreed on. That was exactly what we agreed on. And that's why I only offered $10 because I didn't have the money. I didn't have it. I wasn't going in there saying I'm a big shot and I can do this for you and I can do that for you.
Yeah.
I literally sat there, and Amy, you can attest. Sarah I think she's probably said this when we were there. I sat there, and what I said to them was, I don't know what I can do with this, but I can try. And I want the good, bad, ugly, and that was it. We were very honest. So going on, so the percentage of payment is only in direct correlation to the use of your story. If the series continues with other stories, the percentage of that will not be paid out to you longer than the seasons that involve your story. So basically, originally what we were going to do with By Proxy was we were going to have, why wouldn't they have gone with someone that does have money and connections? They did. And you know what? Michelle Dean cut him out. That happened. That's what happened. Hulu said no. And they were stuck with me, and they were stuck with me. I mean, literally, and I was the next person that said they could help them, and so they went with me because I was the next one saying I could help them, because nobody else was listening at that point in time. Nobody wanted their story anymore. That was the problem. It has nothing to do with me. The problem is nobody wanted their story, especially after Hulu. It was done. It was done for a long time. That was what I kept getting. The answer wasn't about our project. A lot of them even said, we wish you would have brought us this before the act. Like, this would have been amazing, because at that point I was really doing a beginning to end, starting with Dee Dee's life. And so I had planned 2 seasons of, first season was about Dee Dee, second season's all about Gypsy. And then we were going to go on from there and do other Unchosen by Proxy cases. So that's why I was telling them, you're only going to get paid for the seasons that involve your story as the featured story, So there's that. Okay. So, all right. So then further productions. If the project is produced, I think I produced a project, didn't I, Amy?
I think you might have.
Yeah, I think I might have. And subsequent projects using events derived from your life story are procured, you will receive the following additional payments. 5% of purchase price from producer, that's from me. So if someone purchased it from me, for each subsequent project, motion picture, television, novelization, multimedia, etc. And B, if the series is produced, author shall also receive, that's them, 25% of 100% of the net profits paid to the producer, the producer's production company, or any of the producer's associates, if any derived from the series. Net, if anything derives from a series. So if anything comes from the series, they get 25% of any future series that cover anything that has to do with them. So anything else that comes out of that. So like the book, yeah, okay, that's fine. All right, so net profits will be defined in the same manner as applicable to any net profit participation by producer, or if there is no such definition of producer, then the definition applicable herein under shall be in the accordance with producer's standard net profit definition, subject to good faith negotiation between author and producer. So basically that's me stating that if this gets produced, that's the definition of net profits is, that anything after all the everybody's been paid, what does the series actually put into my pocket? And I'll give them, 25% of this, and that's fine. So then basically, and then I'm just defining that it would be held under the fair, good and fair negotiation between me and them. And then basically what I told them after this was that, so this covers them for right now. If I were to get paid, then they would get paid. But what would be likely to happen is that when we went into a negotiation with a network or a producer or whatever, a production company or what that, if they were to begin to offer a budget and a money for the project, or they offered distribution, then the Blanchards would then at that time renegotiate their own contracts for payment from the network, because then they would be like, it goes into the budget of the network of the actual production, not coming out of my salary. And that, but I couldn't guarantee them that that would happen. So even if they didn't get to negotiate their side, I would still give them a percentage of mine.
Right.
So like, okay, so like with Michelle Dean, when what happened with Michelle Dean is the act, the producers of the act, Hulu, did not want to work with the Blanchard family because they felt like they would change the narrative. And so they wanted to tell the story that they wanted to tell, and they have every right to do so. They had an interview with her. They could base it off of what they knew in public record and all of that. And they can say whatever they want, really and truthfully. They can do whatever they want. And they did. And they did. Okay. But basically, Michelle Dean told them.
She put pizza in her.
No.
I don't think that happened.
Oh, I think that's the most ludicrous bullshit ever. I thought that was hilarious. That one got me. I was like, are you guys serious right now? Like,
pizza in a blender.
Exactly. I'm like, that's so gross. But yeah, so basically Hulu told them, no, kick bricks. We're not going to pay you. And we don't want your input any further. So no, thank you. So then I helped draft a letter, I drafted a letter because Christy realized this is where it was going, I think. And she didn't really tell me that's where we were at yet. But I drafted a letter to Michelle because she came to me and said, we want to use you. We don't want to go with Hulu at all. We don't want to do anything with them. Can you help me? And I said, well, we can I don't know what we can do. We can do maybe a cease and desist, and maybe we could send over a proposal to work with them. That would include me, and I could then protect you guys. Since we're working on a similar project, we might be able to join forces. And so we did that. I sent over the letter. I sent it to Christy. Christy sent it over to them, and they declined. So she decided, yep, we're going with Fancy, and we signed these life rights. So I mean, I could have done the same thing. I could have pulled my anything I was doing with them, and I could have just said, I don't want to do this with you. And I just, they didn't know what life rights were. They didn't know any of these things. I was explaining it to them. And truthfully, the life rights is more for protection of them than it ever was for protection of me, because I can tell any story I want to, as long as I'm using public documents. Like, that's that, seriously. Right. So, I mean, there's the Patterson did it. Is it Robert Patterson? No, not Robert Patterson. The writer Patterson. The writer Patterson.
James Patterson.
James, yeah. Patterson did a whole thing on them that's not very truthful. So I don't know why they wouldn't go for them or Hulu or anyone else. No, just little old freaking me. Basically, they're pissed I didn't pay them because I said I was going to pay them. Well, okay, then help me get you paid. Stop standing in the way of what we're trying to do here. Stop being dicks. Yeah, stop being dicks and just let me get this made. So I'll be glad to pay you. I told you I would.
Exactly.
Okay.
They understand that. They think they know something they don't know,
Yeah. So here we are. So the description of these rights. So what are they actually signing over to me, right? The rights granted herein shall be the exclusive rights in all territories in perpetuity to exploit, I'm sorry, this is the words that are used in all media, your life story, and shall include the following: the right to use your name, likeness, and voice, and to portray and otherwise refer to you in connection with the filming, recording, and broadcasting. Hey, Sarah's texting me. Somebody grab her in the chat and see if she's okay, please.
Okay.
Distribution, exhibiting, advertising, and exploiting in any manner of media all rights to your life story, provided that you shall not be depicted as endorsing any product or service without your consent. So basically, if I were to put any type of like product placement, like if Jack in the Box was in there, if I was to put that in the show and Christy was to pick up a Jack in the Box and it could be interpreted that she was representing Jack in the Box, then I have to make sure that they're okay with representing Jack in the Box. That's what that means.
Right.
Okay. All right. And the right to include or exclude from any version of your life story. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
What did I say? Include or exclude. Right?
Right.
Any portion, any form, any version of your life story, any incidents or events in which you participated in a fictionalized and or dramatized depiction. So basically I said, don't lie. Yeah, I think that's what I said. Don't lie.
Let's see.
And if you are lying, I am going to not put it in. Sorry, not and no, never mind. No. All right, warranties and indemnities. This is number 6. You warrant that you have not sold, granted, or otherwise disposed of your story rights, and that you haven't done and will not do anything that might interfere with my rights as stated in this agreement. Oh, like putting Melissa Moore on my ass? No? Yeah. You agree to indemnify me. Do you guys know the word indemnify? Indemnify? IDEMNIFY. Do you guys know what that means?
No.
No? Indemnify? Let me get it for you. Let me get it for you. See, it's all about words here. Mm-hmm. Indemnify is to compensate for harm or loss. So they are I am not being held responsible for any costs which I might incur. Wait, you indemnify me, right? So that I am not going to have any costs, okay, which I might incur, including legal fees, as arising out of breach by you of this agreement. This agreement does not prohibit the author from participating in interviews or documentary type films or series in regards to the story, provided it does not interfere with the development of the series as outlined in this agreement. So what does that mean, Amy? Do you know?
Well, it seems like you won't be held responsible for anything that's,
And what did I also tell them they could do? You don't know. That's okay.
Sorry.
You probably just forgot. It's okay. I mean, it's a lot. It's jargon. But basically what I told them they could do was they were still allowed to participate in anything else they wanted to, as long as it didn't interfere with them participating in what we were doing.
With interfering, yes, was what you were doing.
Right. As long as they were allowed to go to do other series, other agreements, other documentaries, other things, as long as it wasn't interfering or contradicting what we were doing with what we were putting out. And that's part of the thing that they have alleged, is that because they signed this agreement, they lost out on money and opportunities. They did not, because they were allowed to go and do those things, including filming Sophie's the one with Sophie, which was Gypsy's Revenge, while I was down there. So, I mean, it's not like I was trying to keep them from doing anything. Christy went on several different other things. We did the Reels channel together during the period of time of this. So, right, I didn't, and they agreed to not hold me responsible for any of their fees if they breach their contract. They also are responsible for paying any of my fees if they do. There hasn't been a verdict yet on the new motion yet, Mama the Glober. So this is what we're reading though, is the contract based on this. So basically, that's me talking about legal fees that arise on either side, that they would agree to them. It also is agreed that I'm not promising them anything, but they are telling me that they have not promised anyone these story rights, and that they are not going to do anything that interferes with that agreement. That they can go do whatever they want to do, basically. So number 7 is cooperation. You agree to use your best efforts to cooperate with me in developing screenplays and storylines derived from your life story, and to meet me and other persons from time to time. You also agree to assist me in obtaining consents from other persons with whom you have been involved and whom I may wish to include as characters in a project based upon your life story. You agree that I will be writing and submitting to others screenplays based on your life story, and that you shall not be deemed to have acquired any rights to such material. You will be consulted in some creative matters pertaining to story, but ultimately the producer retains the right to have the story, to how the story is portrayed. Everybody get that? No. Mama the Glober, we covered it. What they filed is a rehearing. They want the case reopened. I covered that at the beginning of this live. You can find that over on TikTok, or not TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch. So number 7, that was about their cooperation and what they're agreeing to do. So basically, they're agreeing that they're gonna cooperate with me and give me their best efforts in developing these storylines, telling everything correctly. They also are agreeing to assist in helping other people get in contact with me that I might want to play people in this. So there's that. They do understand that I'm going to be submitting this to others based on this thing, and that they have no rights to anything of the materials that I am writing from, or writing about, or writing. None of that. They do not have any rights to have any of it or see any of it at any time. They will be consulted in some creative matters pertaining to the story, but ultimately it is my right as the producer to determine how the story is portrayed. Pretty clear, I think.
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry. Are you getting tired, baby? If you need to go, you can go, but I want to finish through this.
No, I got distracted by text.
Oh, okay. No problem. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Continue.
Okay. Failure to make or release the project. Nothing. I don't know. Is that a hard word to understand? Nothing.
No.
Nothing herein, which means inside of this, shall obligate. Is that another hard word to understand? No? Okay. Obligate me to make any. Do you understand the word any? Are we sure about that? Do we understand the word any? Anybody need a definition about that? No? No? Okay. Okay. Picture or project based upon your story, although I am committing my talents and energies to the utmost to do so. So Amy, could you explain what I just told you there, maybe?
Well, let's see. Failure to make release project, nothing herein shall obligate me to make any picture or project. You're not obligated to a damn thing.
I said I'll try really hard, but I can't promise you a damn thing. And if I find out that whatever happens in here, even if nothing I've said in here obligates me to a damn thing, but if for some reason I find out that you're lying to me or any of those things, obligate does have 3 syllables. That might be asking too much. Thank you, Aviel.
They can't hear me over there.
No. I love it. Okay, so basically it says, hey, I'd like you to be really truthful with me, and I don't have to do anything that you say. I can portray this in any way I want to, but the idea here is to portray a truthful, accurate based thing on your life, but it's ultimately my decision. And oh, by the way, I need you to cooperate with me to do this, connecting me with anybody that you think can help us get this project done. And on top of that, basically, I'm telling you, but nothing in this agreement, nothing I've promised you here makes it me obligated to do a damn thing. And if I choose to go a different direction, just as the act did, you're shit out of luck. Sorry, but you're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Okay. So, assignment. I may assign this agreement and my rights hereunder in whole or in part to further the purposes of this agreement. You acknowledge that your obligation under this agreement are unique and personal to you and cannot be delegated to another. So that is basically saying I'm allowed to assign this to any production company in the world, anywhere. I can give it to any producer. I can give it to any, network. I can give it to anybody. I can give it to anyone I want. And you would not be there. There is no obligation for them to pay you at all. You would have to negotiate that yourself. But if they choose not to pay you, you still have the clause above that says that you'll get half of what I'm either being paid or 25% of the next projects if they choose not to pay you. Not if it's if I get paid and you get paid, you still get half of mine. No. Only that you would only get that if the production company decides they're not going to pay you. I'm offering to pay you half of what I make because I want to do that to honor my agreement with you.
To honor yours.
And they have no agreement. They do not have to have an agreement with you at all. Okay. So, more formal agreement. A more formal agreement may be prepared containing standard terms and conditions which are customary in the motion picture and television industry in Los Angeles, California, for agreements of this kind. However, unless a more formal agreement is prepared, this is a valid and binding agreement between us and our successors and assigns. Okay, so this is basically saying that, yeah, there may become a time that we're going to get into a bigger legal conversation about this. But if we do, then that will supersede this. But at this time, this is the legal and binding contract as everybody is signing it as of today. Okay.
Right.
Here's the governing law. Now, remember, what's that other court case about? What are they trying to do here, Amy? They're trying to make the judge do what? Do you remember what I asked Todd they were trying to make him do?
They're trying to make the judge do?
Yeah.
Change the venue?
Change the venue. Because they don't know where to go, right? Yeah. And I do believe that Judge Horstman told them exactly a couple of places they could go. One of them being this right here. And he mentioned actually clause number 11, which is governing law. Okay. The agreement shall be controlled by the laws of the state of California. In the event any dispute should arise between us, we agree to submit such disputes to exclusive and binding arbitration, and each shall bear his or her own costs, including attorney's fees incurred in connection with any such arbitration.
So you're responsible for your own.
If we go to arbitration. Now, if that's what they're supposed to do. And that's what Judge Horstman told them they were supposed to do. He said, is there not a arbitration clause in this contract? And Mike Stanfield said, yes, there is. And he said, did you go to arbitration with Miss Johns? And he said, no, I did not. And he said, did your clients go to arbitration with Miss Johns? And he said, no, they did not. And he said, so you didn't do any arbitration. So then again, I fail to understand why this is my fault, my problem.
Right.
Okay. So the judge already told you where the fuck you need to take this case. And instead of doing that, you called up your buddy in the office over and said, hey, I need you to do me a favor for the fucking Blanchard family, who I am in love with, weirdly. Something is strange. And I need you to refile this and ask them to reconsider this because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And this other guy went, okay. Okay.
Like, really?
Okay. Okay. So going on. Number 12. We're almost to the end. 12 is the end. Any offers for a scripted film or television series or event made to the author, that's them, by outside parties, i.e., producers, production companies, networks, must be presented to the producer, that's me, within 7 days for consideration. Producer will consider all offers made and determine the best fit for the project. Please confirm your agreement to the terms of this agreement by signing as the space provided below. Christy Blanchard, Rod Blanchard, Francesca Maselli, we all signed on 9/17 of 2017.
And there you have it.
And there it is. That's it. I mean, are there any questions? Because I mean, this is it.
It reads pretty simple.
It's really fucking simple. That's it. It's really effing simple.
Yeah, it does. It reads very simple.
Like, I don't think I could have made it more clear. You know, like it just.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm glad you went over it again because.
Yeah. And then, here's the thing, like, again, I don't understand the strategy because, like I said, you're basing this all on the fact that I've released your medical records, which by standards of releasing your records, I've released nothing. In fact, I probably released less than Natasha Cooper. And some of the records I have already been released on all of your documentaries. So they have the right to release them at any time too. So you're not stopping this. It's not going away. And we released them based on the project that we're doing. We're putting out a book. We're writing a documentary. We are doing 2 more books on this case. Our book is coming out at the middle of this month. Like, yes, it's been delayed twice or 3 times now, but we're adding extra stuff, right, Mac?
Right, that's absolutely right. And not just that, but sometimes with things that are happening, we get stopped because we have to address other things. So,
right. So basically,
it's a daily, every day.
Every day. And it's absolutely ridiculous, and it's not something we should have to be going through. No. I shouldn't have to talk about this court case at all, but everybody else is going to. So if I don't, then where are you going to get the facts from? Because you're not getting facts from Nina. I'm sorry, you're not. You're not going to get facts from Ryan because Ryan has her own her own perspective on this. You're not going to get facts from Bree. I mean, good old Bree,
Right.
You're not going to get, you're not.
No, because she's too busy ass kissing, and I'm sorry, but it's true.
Right. So, I mean, where are you going to.
Making a good impression with them. That's her big,
everybody's like, well, why are you talking about it and Sarah's not talking about it? Because there should only be one voice, in my opinion, talking about it. That's it. And if Sarah comes on here with me, then that is in a controlled environment where she will be welcomed and loved on by our audience and not attacked where we can't protect her.
Right.
Because I don't think that that's fair. And I went through it with Morbid. And you know why I specifically said she couldn't go on Morbid's? This is specifically why. Because there was a night that I was up in Morbid's live, and it pertained to, I believe it pertained to Nina and this court case. I think it was the night that we talked about the court case. It was the night we talked about the court case. And I said, how many times did I have to tell Morbid no comment?
Yeah.
And then I finally had to get very irritated with him. And I had to say to him, Morbid, I love you dearly and I like your content. But once again, I'm going to say no comment. And if you ask me the question again, I'm going to step down and I won't be returning.
Right.
And I haven't been back on panel.
No.
Because of that. because I am not going to be goaded into saying something that I need to say, that I don't need to say. And for
Right.
somebody to take that and twist that, cut it apart, or, turn it into somebody for whatever I'm saying, I don't need that. And Sarah certainly doesn't need that.
No.
She is going through way too many health problems for her to be stable enough to talk about this publicly right now. It's not because I think she's stupid or that she's not capable or any of those things. But I do believe that you guys bully her and it upsets her and it's stressful for her. And you try to pit her against people and you twist her words, just like Courtney did and Ryan did when she was responding to Mariska asking her, which was one of the people who was wanting her up in the box the other day, by the way. I have a lot of questions for you. Yeah,
I got a lot of
questions for you. That's what she said. Well, you know what Mariska did the first time that caused all this problem was Mariska asked in our TikTok chat to Sarah, what was it that Courtney and Ryan said you said on that live with Fancy that you're saying you didn't say? And it was that I deserve constant and whatever recognition, blah, blah, fucking blah, blah, blah. But what it was her responding to Mariska as Mariska asking, what was it you were saying? And they took that and they never showed that Mariska asked the question. And all they showed was Sarah's little answer. And that's what they told me. See, don't you see? Sarah wants constant and whatever recognition. She's horrible, Fancy. Don't talk to her. And this is the bullshit that I'm trying to protect her from. She doesn't need it. And she certainly isn't going to know what to do when 95,000 people are coming at her. And it's not fair to ask her to do so.
She got up there on the panel, they would have shredded her.
They would have shredded her. They would have shredded her.
I mean,
yep. I'm public about this because it needs to be public to keep them honest.
Right.
To be honest with you.
And you need to be able to,
garner support.
Put your own things out there. Other people are sharing it. You need to be able to share your own thing through your own words, through your own, it's you.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even have anything if it wasn't for you. So.
Right. I wasn't mad at him, Celeste. It's what he's supposed to do as a reporter or wanting to get the story. No, I totally get it. But you saw what happened with her. Okay, listen. I made a bad judgment call in sending her over there. 100%. I've admitted that. Okay, I thought that I thought, based on the conversation I had with Amber and myself and Sarah, Alara was not down there. Okay, right. I felt that after talking about it, it was very simple. I wanted a one-word sentence, and I wanted I wanted a one sentence and one sentence back. I was thinking a 5-second interaction, and all I needed it was for the piece of the documentary that we were going to film about the court case. Okay. So Amber should have stepped up and got it. And she says she wasn't even thinking about it. Then why were you chiming in about me doing it or Sarah doing it? I couldn't do it because I'm directly involved. Sarah at that point was not directly involved with the case in any way, shape, or form. She may be called at a later time, but at this time, she has no reason to not be able to talk to Mike Stanfield, even though she made the phone call to him and he told him that he told me he was not going to serve me. He had no intention of it. She is part of our team. She was on the phone as a witness to that as a member of our production and our PR team. Okay. But she did no reason not to be able to talk to him because that's the whole point of having her as a buffer between me and him. Okay. Because you have to contact the other side in a documentary and give them the opportunity give them the opportunity to have their say. That's just the ethical thing to do, which is what nobody has done for me. Not a single person, not TMZ, nobody. It's really freaking disgusting. Okay. So I thought if I told her the one sentence to say, and all I was looking for was no comment, I thought that this would all go away. I literally just did not think any realm in my mind that this would go wrong. I really didn't. Because
I didn't think it would do that.
Because
I didn't think it was going to go like that.
No, because look, at that point in time, I'd already said what I said. He had yelled at me, but I didn't even know who he was, right? I didn't know who he was. And so, he went and sat down. I made sure they were no longer eating when I sent her over because I don't like to be interrupted while I'm eating. In fact, he didn't have any give a shit about interrupting me while I was eating. But, God forbid she goes over there while he's clearing his plates. How dare her? Okay.
Regardless, it's like, to me, none of that is here nor there.
No.
It isn't.
No,
It isn't.
there
You want
isn't.
nobody to come up on a little disabled woman
Mhm.
like that
Yep.
and punk her out. That's exactly what he was doing
Mhm.
to her.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
she's associated with you, and regardless, it doesn't matter. People are like, well, she shouldn't have went over there. You shouldn't have sent her there. Okay, so that's like saying, oh, well, the battered woman should have kept her mouth shut before the husband did something to her. Like,
Mhm.
how far do you want to go with that? It doesn't matter what happened before that. The point is, she was there, and he got up and came over to her, and he was right up on her.
Yep.
Telling her to back up.
Right.
He was out of line regardless. I don't care what led up to that.
Nope.
You don't do that to a little disabled woman.
No.
Period.
No, and she is tiny. Tiny.
Yes.
I mean, very frail, very tiny. And what he did was wrong.
Right.
Exactly. It does not matter what happened, why she was over here, whether my judgment call was good or bad, whether she was arguing. She was. Okay. Look, she was. And I've talked to her about it. I even said, what I told you to do was I told you to walk over there, ask a simple question, get a simple answer. When you didn't get that answer, I yelled out at you to come back over to me, and you didn't. You stood there and continued to argue with them. Does that excuse his behavior? No, it does not. But in the future, if someone tells you that they know who you are, that you're not a member of the media, who gives a shit? But I am a member of the media, she says. I said, I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter what he thinks you're a member of the media or not. The goal was to get a comment. The comment was, I know who you are, Sarah, and you're with Fancy. And if you don't step away right now, I'm going to call the police. Okay? And she said, that's fine. She should have turned and walked away. 100%. There is no doubt in my mind.
And even still, that's
okay,
neither here nor there.
That's here nor there. Because as the time from, and I got you guys understand, this is 37 seconds from start to finish of her being over there. Okay, 37 seconds. That's it. 37 seconds. So that's okay. So 37 seconds. First, it's her talking to Mike, going, blah, 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 blah. Mike telling her he knows who she is, da, 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 her telling, that's fine, da, 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 right? And then she's telling them that she's a member of the media and that she is a member. I am a member of the media because I have a degree in whatever. I think she's got a degree in media marketing and media law. Media marketing and media law. It doesn't matter. That's not qualifications for being in the media or not being in the media. It doesn't matter. She is a member of the media. What do you call what we're doing right now? This is media. Hello. Hi, I own a fucking network.
Right.
What are you talking about? We're not part of the media. But here nor there, she should have walked away. But she had every right to freaking argue with them too and say, excuse me, no, I am a member of the media. How dare you say I'm not?
Right.
Like, what kind of fucking pompous ass are you?
He could have got up and walked the other direction, but no, he got up and walked towards her.
Right. While Mike sat there laughing. That man then got up. He walked over to her right shoulder. You can see his freaking arm right here. So that's his left shoulder to her right shoulder. Okay. And he tells her to back up, move, have some respect. And then he shifts. And instead of going out to the around her that way where it was already clear to go, he comes across her like this. You see nothing but blue shirt. She's like, she's laughing because she's like, what the fuck is happening? Right. And she even described it to me like, felt like he was trying to feel her up. Because it came across her breasts, because her phone was down here. And all you see is the blue. And then she stumbles backwards and then you can see his tie. And then he exits to the left.
Right. Yeah, I saw it.
That's it. And I'm going to tell you this right now. From the angle that I was sitting at, like I told the judge, I perceived that he made physical contact chest to chest
Mhm.
with her.
Mhm.
Amber has said the same thing. She said it the night of. She has even said it since then.
Right.
She is not sure that he pushed her, but she said he was chest to chest with her and that he was right
Oh
here.
yeah, he said he was very much in her space.
Sergeant at arms.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
Sergeant at arms. Even if he didn't touch her, because I don't, okay, look. I can't say beyond a shadow of a doubt that he touched her because I'm not Sarah and I didn't feel him against my body.
Right. You just know how you
I
saw
just
it.
know from perspective, if where I was, it was body against body. That's what I saw. Okay, that's it. That's all I saw. That's what I know I saw. And I saw her stumble backwards, and I saw him, and I saw him leave. You know, and then Mike's like, you know, we've already called the police. For what reason? For
Right.
what reason? I want to know for
What's wrong?
what reason did
What's
Mike
wrong
already
with
call
you?
the police?
Why were they already on their way?
Makes no sense.
Mm-mm.
Anybody in the chat? Anyone?
Yeah.
Any idea
Yeah,
why
that's no
he would
doubt.
have had the reason to call the police instead of just leaving?
Right.
You know,
He already called what when she started walking over? Like when did he call?
right,
You know what I mean? And then when the
right,
cops get there, they're all like talking and buddies and yeah.
right. Exactly. And then he goes on to try and intimidate all four of us while we're in the courthouse.
When you're waiting, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, okay, so if they asked her to leave them alone and she didn't, then that would be a reason to contact police. It would be, but why wouldn't you just leave and go on to court?
Yeah, because they were done.
They were
Like, I
done, we
would've
were
really
done,
walked
we
away.
were
I
all
think that's
leaving.
like,
We were
it
all
doesn't have
leaving. We all were
doesn't
going to
have to
court.
be that serious, right?
Right.
It doesn't have to be that serious.
Right. And the reason that I told Sarah that absolutely we needed to file, and Amber and Alara at the time told her we needed to file, was because I said that. I go, they are the ones who called the cops, Sarah. So they've already filed whatever they're filing.
Right.
You need to file this because we need to have our statements on record.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And she made the choice to file it after the officer told all four of us it was a class 4 assault. Where would I have gotten that? I said it in the video that night. I did not have time to go looking that shit up.
Right, right.
I didn't.
No.
You know, so
Absolutely not. No.
right. And you know, she should have left. There's exactly. I agree, but it still does not excuse his behavior after the fact.
No, not at all.
Her standing there is no reason for him to do anything to her. And if they were going to leave and I told her I was leaving, I said, come on, Sarah, let's go. We got to go to court. So why would they?
Why would she be visibly shaking and crying? I mean,
right.
Seriously? Why would she be shaking and crying? That doesn't just automatically happen for me over just
somebody. In 37 seconds, Jebediah.
Yeah.
In 37 seconds, she was not freaking harassing them. She was a reporter doing what reporters do. Haven't you ever seen reporters? Do you know what normal reporters do? I didn't ask her to do that. And all she said back to him was that I am a member of the media.
It doesn't matter. She wasn't paparazzi.
Right. And even when she was paparazzi, it's still not an appropriate way to act.
You still don't do it.
You cannot do that. Then he stood there. Right. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Okay, Jebediah, you can have your thought process. I'm not gonna entertain this any longer. That's fine. I understand where you're coming from. I see your point. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm simply telling you, if you see Sarah, I don't know if you've seen Sarah, and you see Mike. Mike was laughing the whole fucking time. It's not like he was threatened. Nobody was threatened.
No,
it was
I mean,
bullshit.
Say that, but no, not at all. She's a disabled little lady. Come on now.
Right, in a cute little dress and in a public place. It is not like we were at the courthouse. It is not like she went and knocked on his door at the freaking hotel. Right. We were in a public place. We were in the lobby of the hotel, and they engaged first. All I asked her to do was get no comment. any reporter from my company should be able to call them and ask them if they would like to make a comment. 100%.
I mean, I saw her walking behind you when you guys had the room.
Mhm.
You were live. I saw her walking. She was having a hard time walking. So
She
it's not like
was.
when they saw her coming over, like, oh, she's, you know,
She's
she's
threatening.
having a hard time walking. She's little. She's sick.
Yeah.
But how you were not. Please.
I can see where you're coming from, Jebediah, but no, because still, no, there was no threat. Then okay, if you want to go that way, go ahead. That's fine. Then the person that should be called on the police for harassing anyone would have been the man who assaulted Sarah when he started screaming at me when I was sitting there having my breakfast and not saying anything to either one of them. So he's from opposing counsel and he engaged with me first. So you're telling me then that then basically by your way of thinking, then the court should see him as the threatening party from the absolute second that he spoke to me. And I don't disagree with you on that, to be honest with you.
Right.
Because he's not a member of the media. He's either an attorney, okay, so yeah, Nina's saying she gets this strange email that he's a, ex FBI agent and he owns a private security company still, Oh, I know. I see, Jebediah. No, I'm not being rude to you. I'm really just discussing it with you. I'm saying, well, by that logic, then the person that shouldn't have said anything should have been that man. He should have never said a word to me. By that logic, by your logic, I'm not being rude about it. Right. If it had been two men instead of Fancy and Sarah, they wouldn't have tried to bully them. That's right. If my husband had been sitting there with me, that would not have gone down like that.
No.
That would not have gone down like that. And that's what I told my husband. I'm like, I don't care how much it's going to hurt us. If we have to go back, you have to go. And he's like, all right, I'll go. The reason he couldn't go is because it was right before we needed to make rent. He needed to work. That's why we couldn't go back up before Sunday anyway, because there was no point. He couldn't come get me.
Right.
I mean, there was a whole reason why we did all the things that we did. On TikTok, I'm on the Good Wives Net too. Yeah, thanks, Celeste. So yeah, but I mean, seriously, if you go by they shouldn't have engaged. Opposing counsel shouldn't have engaged. He's the first one who engaged. Straight up. And Amber can attest to that. And she did. She said we were sitting there and he started yelling at Fancy. All I did, literally, guys, I was sitting like this. She was across the table from me. So she was sitting here. So she's looking this way and I was looking out that way, right? So where they sat was behind us. So when I sent Sarah over there, I turned in my chair so I could see everything behind us, right? Okay, but where I was sitting to her is we were sitting there and the elevators were from behind us as well. So he came around the bar and I saw him and I was like, oh, fuck. And I just put my head down like this. And Amber was like, who is that? And I said, that's Mike Stanfield. Yeah, and she's like, it's Mike Stanfield. Who's that? And I said, that's Gypsy's lawyer. That's Mike Stanfield. And she's like, oh, okay, crap. Right. And so,
right, Jam.
Okay, so then I was sitting there and he turned around and I had just picked up my phone. I was holding it like this. Just like this. And I was still talking and I was still trying to eat my breakfast and everything. But I was just worried. I was like, if they do anything, and I should have hit record. I should have right then. But I just wasn't even thinking it. Like, why? And then he started screaming at me and I was just like taken aback because I've never seen this man in my entire fucking life. I'm like, I don't know who you are. Mike doesn't have a partner. I've looked, it's him. So who the hell are you? Like, where did you come from? And so I'm like, an associate maybe? I don't fucking know. So now it makes sense if it is the DA, like, okay, yes. And I could be wrong. Like I said, Veda could have been wrong when making that assessment and I could be wrong in what I see between the two men. I could be wrong. that is here nor there, because in my statement I didn't say it was Adam Weber in my statement. In fact, they're the ones that have still not told us the name of the person that did this.
Right.
So but if it's the DA, but I did not expect some guy I've never seen ever.
Right.
And that was the thing that the police officer was shocked about with Sarah. He's like, "So you don't know them?" And she's like, "No, they don't know me." And he's like, "So you've never had a no?" She's like, "No, I called his office for my company last week to find out about the court case. There has never ever been any other contact between me and Mr. Stanfield ever. And I don't know who the hell that other guy is at all."
Yeah.
We
Never seen him.
called him Blue Shirt Guy.
Yeah, never seen him before.
And so then when he started yelling at me and telling me to put my phone away, that's inappropriate. I said, "What's inappropriate?" And he said, you need to put your phone away. And I said, "I am eating. What in the hell are you talking about? Like, seriously." And so I'm like, "What?" And so then I thought, I go, "You know what? No. I go, especially now. You have yelled at me. I was doing nothing. I don't know why you're in my hotel. So I'm going to take a picture of you and Mr. Stanfield, because I don't know what's happening right now. And for my own safety, we are in a public place and I'm going to take a picture of you guys." And I stood a good that far away from them. I was here and to where you guys are at the phone. I was nowhere near them. I took 3 pictures. That was it. 3 pictures. And I said, "I just want you guys to know that this is Mr. Stanfield, and he represents Gypsy Rose Blanchard in a court case against me, and I am documenting this just to make sure nothing crazy goes down." Again, bad judgment call on my part to send her over there. Yes.
Yeah.
Does it change the outcome of what happened?
It really doesn't.
No.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Exactly. We all have moments that we go back and play in our heads and go, "How could I do that differently?"
Right.
In the moment, it was a joke at first, trying to lighten the mood.
Shits and giggles.
Right. I was joking. I literally said it like this. I said, "I will give you $1 million and I double dog dare you to go over there and ask Mike for a fucking comment." And she and I laughed and we were just laughing, and Amber was laughing. And I agree, Lily Mae, it was okay. But honestly, I was joking when I said it. And then Amber is who said to me, "Yeah, that's not a half bad idea." And I was like, huh.
And you have to realize that Sarah is not a 12-year-old child. She's a grown woman who could have said, "Oh,
No.
I don't think that's a good idea."
Right. She had every right.
I don't like when people try to put this on you, like, "Well, you shouldn't have sent her over there." What are you talking about? What are you, like, the freaking master or what? Like, they think you, like, seriously, she's her own person. She could have said, "No, I think that's a bad idea." Because I would have. I'm just saying, I would have said it.
Right.
Like, "Oh, I don't know if I should do that." But, I don't like judgment on you for that, because she's her own person. We all need to be responsible for ourselves. We're all adults.
Yeah.
Let's be doing that.
Yeah. Well, just a small town girl, if you're a criminal lawyer in San Diego, why don't you give me a call so that I can get a better defense attorney? It'd be great. But right now, the reason, and I'm not being shitty about it, the reason that I'm doing this publicly is because it's the only way that I believe I'm going to be able to keep them honest in the situation in which I'm working in. I'm sorry. And that's not to call anybody out specifically, but the cards are stacked against me, and this is not okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. I understand. And I will be happy to take your advice, but this is not, I've got to keep this public, and I'm doing the best to try. And, I've told my story. I wanted to come on today because instead of everybody else hitting the web and talking about the document that I filed, I wanted to come on and make sure that I talked about the document that I filed. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, it was a bad judgment call on my part. I'll admit that. I did. I have admitted it. It's not, it's not. And but none of that was what should have happened to Sarah. None of that excuses the behaviors.
Nope.
I do have video evidence, Holly. I do. I mean, we were like you said, Jam. Yeah, we had 3 hours of sleep. I wasn't working on my best freaking day. Okay, you know, you know. I wasn't working on my best day, and I was already dealing with what I was dealing. I made a bad judgment call. It doesn't warrant assault on somebody who isn't me or me.
Right.
It doesn't warrant assault. And I want you guys to know something. In the state of Missouri, assault can be shaking a fist at somebody.
Look it up.
Battery.
Look it up.
Battery, however, is when you make physical contact.
I said she would even get into it with a disabled person.
To a disabled person.
Yeah, because we're going deep, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At this point, it's just kind of like done with it.
Yeah.
Because it's just a bunch of BS.
It's absolutely BS. And so this is, I'm open for interviews, but not about this. Okay. I wanted to come on and talk about this one time and one time only on my channel. And in the way I've already gone through the original court case the other day and all the documents with you and how it was dismissed the first time. And I, if they're going to be public leaking it to TMZ and all these content creators, then I have to be public in my own telling of my own story. So
More story to tell.
It is. And I'm doing the best I can, and please continue to pray for Sarah. I know that she is not doing well right now. Rumors about you and Sarah, you two. Yes, we are still on speaking terms. And no, Sarah Parson, we do not have a GoFundMe set up just yet, but the mods are working on it. They're going to be handling it themselves. Matt, can you want to talk a little bit about that? So the GoFundMe, can you?
Oh yes, the mods we were gonna send up. I don't think who's it gonna be.
I don't remember, but if you just want to talk about it.
We're gonna set up a GoFundMe and just help raise the funds for what's gonna be like probably to 2,500.
I would think maybe close to for even just the retainer.
We'll take care of it that way. Well, sorry, they can't hear me.
That's okay. Here,
I'll helping take care of it that way.
I'll say it once you're done over here.
On the honest,
Yeah. So basically, I am not going to have access to that money on my own, and neither would Sarah. It will be set up by our mod team, and they are the ones that will be able to control it, so that way they can show transparency of where the money goes and how it is being spent and all of that. Okay. Yes, Sarah is still with us. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. So hopefully they'll get that set up today or tomorrow, and we'll get that done. I'm not asking for funds for going, none of those things right now. If that happens later, then we'll deal with that. We'll cross that bridge when we have to.
Right.
But I, right now I'm representing myself pro se. I don't have a public defender. I didn't qualify, and I don't have the funds to hire a criminal defense attorney at this time, so we're working on it. But right. Okay, I'm reading some of the comments over here. Anyway, yeah, exactly. Anarchy Faye. I see where you're coming from. But yeah, so anyway, guys, that we'll have the PayPal, that we'll do the whole thing. Yes, I do have PayPal and Cash App, but we won't have that. We'll have an actual GoFundMe. That way you guys can do that. Okay. So I don't want to have to worry about that stuff. I'm trying just so hard to put my arguments together and to finish our book and all of the other content. Other content that we are working on. Every freaking time we have to stop and talk about this crap, it takes away from our actual missions here. And right. And it keeps us all just frustrated as hell. So, Oh, I'm so glad, Emma. Emma, you know what, Emma, I saw your little video that you did where you were like you know what, everybody should shut the hell up because you guys sit here and talk about fancy being credible and yet you
Oh,
use
is
all
that
her
Emma?
shit. Yeah, that's that Emma.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah, yeah,
I do.
yeah.
I like you, girl. Because she tells the truth, and it is. Nobody would have anything if it wasn't for you.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Alrighty. I will but I'm gonna end it here, guys, and thank you all for your support. This will be up on Rumble, Twitch, and YouTube for you guys to go back and start from the beginning. I cover the current court case. I cover the refiling of or the asking to reopen the case and my filing to the judge today. So, and I will keep you guys updated about Sarah as well. Thank you all so very, very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you again sometime this week. Bye, y'all.
And happy 4th. The 4th.
Oh yes, happy 4th. Happy 4th. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. We don't get our YY on the 4th. So sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bummer, but
So yep. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys. Have a good one. From the Good Wives,
Yes.
serving up true crime, one dish at a time. Bye, guys.
bye, y'all.
Alrighty, guys. Have a good one. Mwah, love you.